Yep, I'm out here with this camera videotaping now. Yeah, I just wanted to come out here and get a footage of saying. I just wanted to say that I'm willing to make some changes. You know what I'm saying? And move forward because if you ain't growing in your walk, in your daily walk every day, then something is wrong. You see what I'm saying? Something is terribly wrong when you're not willing to grow. You see what I'm saying? Like, let's say I remember 15 years ago, like 15 years ago, that was like 2004. I was 29. And from that time until now, I feel like I have grown when it comes like intellectually, just a little bit. Learning, hold on. When it comes to like the knowledge of being responsible, um, budget spending, like budget spending, saving, and stuff like that. When I be going different places to the market or whatever, I feel like I done gotten better at it, and I know I was confident then, but I know in my heart that I am more confident now than I've ever have been. So yeah, I'm more confident now than I ever have been before, you know? And that's what growing is all about. You grow some. You may not be done grown much, but you at least you grown. It will show when they say growing some just a little bit. It's showing people, it's an indication that you are trying. But if you are still the same way that you was 50 years ago, let's say, think about, let's say some of you right now may be watching this video and you remember when you was 20. Now it's 50 years later. Now you realize like you still where you left off at 20, 50 years ago. Now, if you where you was, let's say from 50 years ago, or from 1972 up until 2000 and up until, if that's right, 2019. From that time to this time, it should be a growing in your knowledge and process and changes. And this is something that, even though where we have been damaged as a people, and I'm gonna continue to talk about the so-called Edomites because their nation of people is the one that the reason why this country and all over in every other parts of the world is out of order because there was a time where our people, the original people, the Hebrew Israelites, they ruled Europe and all over for 100 and some years. Over 1,000 years, they ruled Europe. There was a lot of people that was all black then, so-called black. But what right then and there, our nationality was not scripted from us. You see what I'm saying? But when they came, Christopher Columbus came over here, uh Leo Cipius Anacondas, that was which we call ourselves African American, which we're not. That name descend. You're saying that you descend from two white men, and we know we didn't descend from no white people. They came over here and they took over the land. They took over the Indians. They made over 5,000 treaties and came over here and they destroyed the native indigenous Indians and they killed off a lot of the Indians. And that's the reason why a lot of people celebrate Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving, that's what it is. It's not Thanksgiving. They try to say it like that, but it was a time commemoration of when the Europeans came over here and took over the native Indians and took and mixed their seed with the Indian. They mixed themselves, put their drop of blood with the Indians, and they caused the mixed Indians is to be fighting the original real Indians, and they did it on purpose, and that's what they wanted to do. So that's how we got this mixed light skin, dark skin thing. Is because that have been embedded in us from our psychology is to learn the ways of the heathen and to hate ourselves and stuff like that. This has been going on ever since. You see what I'm saying? That we have been like this here, and this is the reason why things is out of order. But there are so many different scriptures in the Bible that says that God is going to set things in order. He's going to come back and he's going to set things in order. And Esau's kingdom is running out, the so-called white man. And I'm gonna do some scriptures on that. Yeah, his kingdom rulership is almost through. You see what I'm saying? And we're gonna take our throne back, and we're gonna take the power back that we had, and we're gonna be ruling, and we're gonna rule over our oppressors. That's what the Bible says. You see what I'm saying? That's what it says, and we have to give it to them straight and let them know that. So let me go on back in here. I see these bugs is out here pretty bad. So let me get on back in here. Can't stay out here long. Hopefully it don't be like that. Get over there. I mean, you know what I'm saying. Yeah. Yeah, man. So living years of life is all about growing. You see what I'm saying? I'm gonna come back later on and I'm gonna do a video based upon that. You know what I mean? It's all about growing and growing in your knowledge. You see what I'm saying? Just like I said, if you have been let's say 50 years ago, or let's say just 5 or 6 years ago, and here it is 2019 now. You should have been grown during that time period. You know what I mean? And all of us should grow. You see what I'm saying? So let us come out of this old way of living, being bamboos, taught that Jesus was a Caucasian man. We need to get those images completely out of our minds, because that's what they did. And see, the Europeans, they knew, the original Europeans, like these are the reincarnation of the original Europeans that came on Earth. You know what I mean? So they came over here. They knew what to do to psychologically to destroy our minds and mentally and emotionally destroy us of that, because they knew that so-called Europeans, they couldn't mess with us in our natural state. They couldn't do it because they knew they would have been beat. They knew matter of fact, they already conquered. You see what I'm saying? And the Most High God put us in these conditions over here so that we can, because we broke his laws and his commandments. So therefore he allowed our enemies to rule over us. Our oppressors is to rule over us and oppress us and do us the things that we are doing. This is part of the punishment of the judgment that he put up on us because we violated his commandments and we did not follow his commandments. That's the whole deal. Deuteronomy 28, and you read the whole chapter. I'm gonna take time and I'm gonna go through it again and I'm gonna read it. I'm probably gonna just strictly read Deuteronomy, and then a lot of people gonna ask, well, what is the solution to getting out of the condition that we're in? We have to first come back to the laws and statutes and commandments of God, the Most High God, and keep his commandments and obey his voice. And do your best, wear your fridges, keep his commandments and things of that nature. And I'm not telling you nothing that that I'm not practicing, that I want to do and stuff. I strive every day is to be a better person, And so that's what it's really all about. You know what I mean? Because God said that he wants us to remember what the children of Edom had did. That's according to Psalms 137 and verse 7 and 8. He said, remember, O Lord, the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem and all of that. Remember what happened to us. He wants us to remember those things. And then he says, and Deuteronomy chapter 32 and verse 7. He says, remember the days of old, consider the years of many generations. He wants us to remember what and have a reminder he wants us to remember the records, because God does have records of all of the atrocities and things that they did, the horrible things that they did to the people of the Most High God, the Hebrew Israelites. All those that took all of the other 17 nations that put their hands on the chosen people, it's going to be dealt with by the Most High God. And that's just how it's going to go. So, peace and love to my people of color. And I'll see y'all in the next live. And as I continue to further update you all on some further details. All right, I'm out.